Assassin's Promise by Thomas Woodward. Chapter 53. The smell of spices and burning oil mixed together above me. It was soft and almost imperceptible. I smelled other fragrances as well that I did not recognize. The ghostly melody returned and was met by silvery harmony that could barely be felt on the wind. I strove to make it out, pricking up my ears as I lay back against the earth. It was faint and intoxicating, like mist before the dawn. It lulled me as my gaze returned to the sky above. Faint outlines of clouds were no more than wisps above me on the fleeting wind. Hot, still air gathered around me now. I took it in like a blanket, glad to be away from the freezing chill of the moonless night. Echoes of remembrance reverberated through me. I saw glimmers of images, although none of them seemed real. I had seen darkness, nothingness. Terrified, I looked back into the azure sky, taking reassurance in the sunlight that warmly touched the high walls of the inner city. I was here, in the center. I had seen water flowing freely from a fountain. It had fallen in waves. My thirst returned, as I hungrily set upon drawing myself closer to the lapping geyser. Pangs of hunger washed over me, but I knew water was the more immediate need. Wearily, climbing to my feet, an image shocked into my consciousness. A face I had seen, blue as water, had rippled over its surface. I felt my limbs turn leaden. I stumbled, catching myself before falling back to the stones beneath me. A cool hand touched me lightly on my forehead. I went still as a deer that had been spooked. Without looking up, I could see a long flowing robe of white and gold, intricate patterns embossing its length. The hand that touched me had been soft and delicately manicured. I feared what I would see. A musical voice spoke to me. "Tinal Car?" I looked up, confused. I saw a man's face, strangely calm eyes, and a solemn demeanor. There was a kindness to his expression, but I felt the coldness of something alien as well. It was a strange mixing of features, and it held me fast. Unnerved, I could not break contact. "Tinal careth Severin sa," the voice continued, a slight movement of the face in front of me, oddly reminiscent of a bird as it twists its head to get a better view of the object of its scrutiny. I found I was on the edge of understanding, almost. "Tu yin I careth Severin sa?" It became a question. The man moved his mouth experimentally, as if testing the air. "To you I will care for, yes." It was a statement, oddly reptilian in sound. I wondered if the man I looked at was indeed human. "Come, I will care for your needs." It was a command, cool and strong, binding with a power I felt in the fiber of my being. I pulled myself to my feet and looked around the square. Green life sprouted forth in wild majesty, covering walls that had been delicately woven into breathtakingly beautiful patterns that were interspersed among the thick stones of the courtyard. Ahead I saw the robed figure stop and turn, waiting with a patience that belied a great agelessness. I wondered if I still moved through a dream. A sense of wonder pulled me forward, and we began to climb the great stairs towards the temple that rose immensely before us. A strange substance was being burned in hanging urns at the mouth of the entrance, far above. I could smell the barest hint of spices that tickled my nose. And something else that I could not quite place. Enormous doorways of wrought bronze stood a full 30 spans high. Elaborate paintings were etched into the side of them. Almost as wondrous were the fine patterns that swirled with a life of their own, almost lifelike. They looked like a long-forgotten language, traces of the common tongue apparent at every symbol in 50. Marveling at the thought of discovering a forgotten language, I realized far more wonders clung to this city. Shadows loomed ahead, circling. Pulled out of my reverie, I looked above and did not believe what I saw. Our gargantuan bird, black and hairy, flew above, its wings seemingly made of black fire. I blinked. Looking again, I saw only a buzzard, It hovered in a slow circle above me before I hurriedly pressed on. Ahead, I saw that the man had not waited and was already climbing the great steps leading up to the temple. Hunger pulled strongly at me. I heard the ghostly melody again and saw the world flicker for the barest moment, light being replaced with abject darkness. Ghostly ropes of fire binding heavily across the buildings stretched away into the sky. A great tearing sound rose, and the world flickered again, leaving me staring breathlessly at the hot clay streets and cool plants reaching towards the sun. Moving with increased alacrity, I followed the strange man as we climbed the great stairs upwards, towards the gaping mouth of the temple that lay cast in shadow.